my friends stand by me only if I'm right. I come out of triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they love me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and death to all the frauds, man. Not too many on me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon. Y'all be on the camera.
Poppy.
Yeah. Yeah, you better believe I got a sweet tooth, but ain't nothing sweet. I know you spend all your money to treat. I'm about to spend this little money on treats. Was on a diet, but I gotta cheat. Jumped off the porch, now I'm on 2nd Street. Tamika, my twin, she rolling that dough, and I think about counting that dough in my sleep. What's up, TJ? Before y'all run, I don't wanna be late. I need a little something, I hit this way, and I need it now, I don't need a delay. Peanut butter like my snack, like my woman. Denzel Washington, I'm leaving with sun. Chocolate chip, baby, you know how I'm coming. Banana pudding, no, we got it jumping, yeah. Yeah, got butterific, I'm feeling terrific. Serving them cookies is not just a gimmick. They pulling them now cause they love to mimic, yeah. I need a pack, I need a sack, I need a stack, I need a rack. Man, I need everything in a bag down.
You better believe it.
Ay, butterific, yeah, butterific, shit, butterific.
It's a group of 5 lifelong friends. Been together, knowing each other for 40 years. I forget the amount of kids we got. We got about 12 boys and 1 girl. And today we're talking about men being raised by single mothers. What does it take? Does a single mother have what it takes to raise a man? Is there deficiencies, advantages to that? We just saw a reel talking about young men raised by their mothers are more emotional. There was a lot of comments on that reel, and I know we guys talked about it earlier a little bit, briefly showed it to one another. What was your take on that, Brother Corey?
Hey, bro, I think it'd be a good idea for me to go ahead and play the clip. It's from the It Is What It Is podcast with Cameron and Mace. I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip to give us a little context and let people know exactly what we're talking about.
When you're raised by your mom, you're a different man. You're a different boy, and you don't like hearing stuff from other men. Like, that's really one of the biggest issues I see in hip hop and in sports, that you just have a bunch of guys that were raised by their mothers, so they never heard a man's take on what they're doing, so they can't hear it. And then we get upset, Killer. You be like, but he'll listen to his girl. He'll listen to his girl because he was raised listening to a woman. He don't listen to men at all. You'll say you have a problem with authority. No, he just have a problem with men. But if a woman...
There we go, man. That's kind of hot there, man. I know a lot of people online. Shout out to Cameron and Mace for bringing the topic up. I think it's an important one. You know, I think taking an initial stab at it, I think there's some truth to what he's saying, just based on my own experience. But I also think that there's obviously some examples of some females or males that are raised by some females who instilled in them some strong enough values that they can accept guidance from anyone when it's true. You know, so that's sort of my initial take on it. Anybody else? What are some thoughts on that?
You said your experience personally with raising your boys, or you personally as we was coming up?
You all know I work in education, so I see a lot of young men, or encounter a lot of young men that have single mothers. Over the years, so I come in a lot of contact with them, and one thing I can vouch, later on in that clip, he said they react emotionally a lot when they get guidance, and I have literally seen that a lot. A lot of the emotional reactions that some of us that are more patriarchal lost.
Boy, you might be getting yourself in trouble because now you tying emotion to females as opposed.
Hey, I'm like John Lewis, good trouble.
Good trouble.
Hey, I don't think is that controversial to say that females are more emotional than males?
Well, when you attach the young men being emotional, getting emotional about a situation, as if that's tied to their single mother upbringing, you know what I mean? It kind of implies that women are, you know, more emotional and don't really, you know, and not really logical in
That's
many
right.
cases.
That's
I'm
right.
I'm,
That's
I'm
right.
co-signing it for sure.
That's right.
1000%. I'm
Yeah.
co-signing that.
Okay,
I
okay.
think I guess the right is it the right word is tonality, the way our tone is. I think sometimes when I live in a big city, man, and sometimes, man, you know, when I'm out and about, you know, I see how young men handle different conflicts, and I can tell just by seeing them that they was raised by a mother, you know.
How can you
And
tell that, bro?
Yeah, with some clues. With some
These
context.
strangers or people that you've kind of know
no
or
strangers don't even know, just our mannerism, how they interact, how they move, how they act. And I'm not
with it,
talking about in a feminine way.
no, I know.
I'm just talking about I've been around a lot of men, and there's a masculine way to move, and there's emotional way to
There
move.
you
And I've
go.
seen, and I said I
You trying to make it?
co-signed
You
it.
trying to make this thing juicy right here? Okay.
I just said I co-signed on it. So, and that's what I see, and
But
and go ahead.
have you asked? Have you asked just to confirm it or be? Well, not. I guess you wouldn't just pull up to a stranger and be like, "Yeah, you
I don't
know,
have to
who's you raised
confirm it.
by?" Right. Okay.
Man, any young man that got too much mouth been raised by a single mother, man.
Hey man, you know what I think about when we my initial thoughts, and like you say, it's some truth to it. But my initial thoughts, you ever been online and see the reel or the memes where it's like, let's play a joke on dad, and the kid will tell mom to shut up.
Oh yeah. I've seen that one. Yeah.
You seen that?
Yes.
And you see how the fathers respond.
He about
and how they interact, and the kid and the mom is like, whoa,
he's on it. They ain't on the whole joke. Yeah.
Because they recognize there's a level of authority that comes with men, and this is why it's so important to be in that household as often as possible. And I know sometimes it's not possible, but when those moments happen in the household, there's a man there to check that behavior and get the kid back in line. You know, my uncle always said, would always say to me, the shortest distance from, A to B is a straight line. And we trying to raise young people, all right? And so being there in those moments, being there in those moments is because a young person has started to stray off of that path. They've started to stray off of that line. And it's the father there who said, hey, get back over here. We don't do that in this house. We don't talk like that in this house. We don't disrespect mom like that in this house. And the understanding that there is a male figure that must be respected and adhered to at all times is very prevalent. And so the kid shortly and quickly gets the message that, hey, they already know. They know when they decided to play that joke on dad, how this was going to go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a good.
Are you referring that a single mother couldn't handle that disrespectful child?
No, not at all. I'm just recognizing that. Listen, we all know it can be done because it's always done. But just because it can be done doesn't mean it should be done. And we understand that, yeah, women in certain circumstances, hey, they got to take care of the kids by themselves. But you got to recognize that there are some deficiencies that come with that. Any woman that tell me she can raise a kid and don't need no daddy and don't need no husband, all that stuff, immediately tells me she has no idea what it takes. Because you can't bake a good cake with no sugar. You just can't do it. So any woman that
what
starts
about monk fruit
like that immediately tells me I don't know what it takes. What you say, Sean?
I said what about monk fruit if you use monk fruit instead of sugar? No,
it's gonna taste terrible, James.
That's a fact too.
That's a fact.
No, but okay. Well, so all of what you just said, do you believe because of that? All right, what's an example of how a young man would respond if he didn't have that check? You know what I mean?
He
As
would
far as far as hearing, as my Mace had said something about he won't listen at all. You know what I'm saying, to a male or
I think
whatever.
what Mace is saying is that they just not accustomed to falling in line to a male authority. They're not accustomed to it, and so
you think they're more prone to reject it, though? You say is that what you're saying?
I think it's just a time where they have to adjust, you know, and that's why I believe that male teachers are so important. That's why I believe having coaches and participating in athletics are so important, because when you're not getting that element at home, you can get it in these other environments, and that's where is absolutely needed. You know what I mean? We can bring that to the table. Huh?
Can I give an example of the type of behavior you get? And there's so many layers of this, right? 2 points. All right, let me give you an example. A male tells a young man, 14, 15-year-old, hey man, we're gonna need you to go over here and y'all need to settle down a little bit. And you get this. Remember sucking your teeth?
Right.
Now, any father that sees his son sucking his teeth, you ready to ask him if you want to keep his teeth in his mouth. And you telling them, man, look, that's soft. That's not how we respond as men. You know what I'm saying? Like sucking your teeth and those little microaggressive behaviors of rebellion and stuff like that. Good one,
JG.
What'd you say, John?
Oh no, I was just rolling your eyes, your teeth all
rolling your eyes and all of that type of stuff. Which typically, I mean, I don't want to get in trouble.
What is it typically?
Describe some of those behaviors to some segment of women. I didn't say all women. I'm making it clear.
Right. He's being mad, Carol.
If they were listening to men, like the biggest people they don't listen to, let's get with this is policemen. A lot of them are men, right? Let's look at what's going on with all of these teen takeovers all over the country. Wow. If they were listening, they would respond to men. They still out there. The police chief can come on TV. Look, we locking y'all up if you come down here taking over these major entertainment districts, and you see them on camera rebelling against the authority, right? Over something when they know they're wrong. So I just think it's a lot of different examples of how that shows up, because a lot of times when they turn up, they're turning up over something that's not that serious.
Right. I agree. Yeah, and I'm seeing it here in the city as well. I mean, you painted a great picture when I turned it on the news. I see the takeovers, man, and these young men, man, young guys out there. They, the authority come in and the emotions run real high, and I was thrown back, man, because I just couldn't imagine, like, I don't know, it'd be at least about 700-800. I mean, it's huge crowds of these takeovers.
Hey, y'all gonna have to explain, man. Y'all boys live in a big city. I live in a small.
You talking about the takeovers? Wow, you talking about the takeovers?
Yeah, I don't know what y'all talking about.
Man, they be cutting.
Y'all had those in Raleigh?
Yes, sir.
What did they call them when it was white kids doing it? They called it something else. When they was getting together, I forgot the name. They got a different name. When us, it's takeovers. With them, they call
it. And what is it?
So basically,
you got hundreds of young people showing up, getting together over text message, like, let's go meet at the downtown mall.
Okay.
And they swarming the downtown mall and end up causing, ultimately something ends up happening where there's a fight, there's madness, there's chaos, and the police have to run them off the spot, or there's shootings. People can't go downtown with their family. Up here in the DC area is Navy Yard, is U Street. The major entertainment areas, you got young people just flocking by the hundreds.
Yeah, they did that at the mall. At one of the malls
is showing up
Hardee's on Abbey Road 30 years ago. It's Hardee's on Abbey Road 40 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but let me say this: is showing up by the hundreds the problem, or is fighting and shooting the problem?
Both.
Well, I think I don't know. I mean, that's like the chicken or the egg conversation to me when you're talking about young people from different demographics just showing up in one place. You know what I'm
They
saying?
doing
I
that.
think it's both. But
They
if she
showing
showed
up
up in
and
one place, I guess it wouldn't be a problem. But I
They
got
doing it
the
on
name.
e-bikes and all that kind of stuff, like little
The white-
e-bikes. They getting
The
together,
white
little
kids are doing
hordes.
it. They call it flash mobs. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, black kids doing it as teen takeovers. That's a
Wow.
whole nother
Well,
conversation.
well,
It's
or
like
the
the wolf
flash
pack.
mobs are doing something like dancing all together, and they're doing something that's non-violent and
I
non-threatening to the
think-
community with the flash mobs.
I think something similar just happened here last week in Charlottesville. Is what y'all talking about? Where they was having a
13 people got
Tom
together.
festival, huh?
13 people got together.
No.
Nah,
Chill, you stupid, yo.
Well, they was having the Tom festival, right? And then at 12 midnight, when Tom Festival was over, all these young people showed up downtown on the mall.
Yeah.
And
Sounds
so
like it.
and so they broke it up. And so my thought was, like, why people complaining saying they broke it up? Like, the Tom Festival just didn't show up downtown. They got a permit. I mean, I was just thinking, well, why didn't they just get a permit if they want to go do all that downtown? Why didn't they apply for a permit?
Oh,
But
gee,
I
you
guess-
sound stupid. Ain't nobody gonna get no permit to get together like that. No, I'm just messing
But
with
then you can't get mad at the people and call the people racist when they tell you got to break this up.
But hold
You
on,
ain't
what were
got
they
a-
doing?
And you can't compare it to the other event when you like them people had a permit, you ain't had one. It's like
Oh,
driving
no,
a car with no license.
But
No,
what
I
were
don't
they
think.
doing?
I don't think Black said that because there was any kind of racial controversy. But he was just kind of pointing out the difference as far as like how they
Oh, yeah, I'm
stigmatize.
just talking about what I know just happened here.
Oh, everybody.
So they said it was a racial piece.
Yeah, because they like, well, y'all let the
This
time.
is the problem. Because, like, to your point earlier, they're like, okay, why can't 500 people just show up? It's not a problem until you showing up, but you blocking the door to somebody's business.
Correct.
For example. And
Correct.
the police are like, hey, we're going to need y'all to move.
Or you violating the noise
And
ordinance.
then the mace effect comes in. Man, why we got to go? But. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So that becomes a problem is because it becomes an issue because, number one, if the police feel, hey, there's one little minor skirmish or something, or somebody smoking weed or, whatever reason they decide to break it up. You know what I'm saying? And I know I was using that as an example, the takeovers as an example, like even in the face of the official authority, we got a young man, and there's young women out there too at the takeovers. Make no mistake about that.
Right.
That we can't. Our reaction is to turn up instead of, as a father would teach you, is chill out.
So, all right, let me ask the panel: Is this a discipline question? Are they reacting to men in general, or to authority, or are the young people reacting to one another that way? Or just basic instructions, like you say in the school system, just I'm not even trying to carry you. Hey, have a seat. We about to get class started. You find those young men raised by single moms a bit more emotional instead of just going with the flow.
I remember. Go ahead, brother. Brother Muhammad.
Well, I'm not sure if this qualifies, but it's another stark example of with the whole authority piece. Did y'all see that clip where the student was in Georgia, Chill, where the student went to fighting the principal? Yo, he just came at the principal because the principal was trying to kind of break some stuff up. And then the student was kind of like
blaming that stuff on my city, man.
I
don't know. I don't know if it was
an L too. The principal took an L too.
You saw that shit.
I did see it. Yeah, he took an L,
and that was crazy, bro. It was like, there's no way in the world we would even imagine just thinking we gonna just fight the principal. Right. That was crazy to me. And so I don't know if that's an example of what Mace was talking about with regards to not liking it, necessarily hear or get guidance from a male figure and all. But that was just absolutely just crazy, bro. Just straight crazy.
Y'all know Dondre Whitfield wrote a book, and it was the guy that played
Oh
on
yeah,
Cosby
yeah.
Show
I
and
know
all
you talking
that.
about, yeah, because
Hold
he
on,
did
we about to get a quote.
he
We
did
about
a
to get a
post the
quote.
other day. Yeah.
No, it's no quote. There's no quote. But yeah, you saw his post, and he was talking about from being the difference between male and men,
Males and men, right.
or male and man. You know what I mean? And just talking about the confusion that takes place because a lot of males physically look like men, but they don't have a mindset of a man. And so when we talking about, respecting authority or knowing how to carry yourself or knowing how to respond in moments of crisis and all of that, it's about a mindset. There's a certain manly mindset, a certain level of maturity and masculinity, a certain amount of wisdom and understanding that comes as you age, that in terms of how you behave and how you conduct yourself. And so many times we get confused about what the difference is. You know what I mean? And so he just had a post recently about that.
Yes, I saw that.
Pull it up and look at it. It was long and it was really good, but he was just making a distinction between males and men.
That's interesting because I thought a while ago though, that distinction as well being as it relates to we're made in likeness. Let us make man, and we're made in the likeness and image of God. So a man reflects God, versus a male is just not there yet. A male is still on the level of
child,
of child and immaturity. But if you once you become a man, I wouldn't even consider myself, because I'm striving to become that, that God, child of the Most High God. And then once I at least reach that point of understanding, I consider myself a man, because then I would reflect God.
Hey, what y'all talking about now reminds me of I feel like we need a rite of passage. We're talking about boyhood into manhood, or from male to a man, and we really don't have any of that thing happening formally. I think that's a good thing. We should be able to do that intentionally.
Not formally, informally is jail and penitentiary. That's
right,
the problem.
Right. Unfortunately, exactly. So let me just say this: if y'all preferring that these takeovers, 90%, half, they're not coming from 2-parent households. Is that what you're inferring with the analogy with the takeovers?
No, I think that's really a whole nother episode. I was not inferring that, because I think
okay.
the demographic is pretty split, because that brings up the whole conversation of, you got suburban kids that's not raised like that want to be like that, right? That's a whole nother psychology.
Right.
Hence the e-bike takeovers that I'm talking about, that I've seen here in Raleigh too. The e-bike, them jokers. Most of us can't afford no e-bike.
What's it? Oh, the e-bike takeover,
yeah, the electric bike joints, yo.
Yeah.
But when you mentioned the whole suburban piece, that's what
let's go deeper into what May said, right? So May said, on the basic level, they can't take instruction from men, and they always taking it from women. So they listen, and then he takes it all the way up into grown men, right? They listen to their girlfriend, you know what I mean? But they won't listen to another man. But I want to it's deeper than what he just said on the surface level, because I'm reminded in the 90s, Brother Farrakhan had the Stop the Killing tour going on in all the major cities, right? And what one of the things he talked about was that what was at the root of us killing one another was a self-hatred, right? Because of that self-hatred, if I hate myself, then I hate other people that look like me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So
yes,
it makes it easier for you to pull the trigger on another brother that look like you, because you don't even think you belong, right? And so, and then beyond that is this part of it is, the whole dynamic. One of the things he mentioned in that dynamic was, for a lot of single mothers out there that's struggling, that don't have a positive relationship with their child's father. I'm not going to say baby daddy, right? With their child's father, the child is constantly hearing, your daddy ain't blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And you look just like that. This is Brother Farrakhan said, and you look just like that black so-and-so.
And you're going to be just like him, right? Yeah.
The child is sort of socialized into having disdain for the man. Based on if the mama has had pain with men like that, right? Or is not cognizant that you need to not disparage the man so that he can have a healthy view and development that's absent of that disdain. So I think sort of what Mace is talking about is these children have a disdain for other men. You understand what I'm saying? To the point where, like, you can't tell me what to do. My daddy can't. We say that. They say that too, right? We done said. I done said.
You ain't my daddy.
Yeah,
you ain't my daddy.
You ain't got to be your daddy telling you the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's not even something that a daddy would do. He just say, "Hey, man, don't step off. Don't you gonna hurt yourself, man? You ain't my daddy." The man just trying to save your life. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the type of stuff we got to talk about. So it's not that our sisters, and we know, y'all, all of us are products of women that didn't tolerate us acting emotionally and overreacting like this. So we know that tons of our sisters are doing it, right? So I think Mace was talking about a segment of our young people for sure, but I think it's a very real thing.
Poppy.
Yeah. Yeah, you better believe I got a sweet tooth, but ain't nothing sweet. I know you spend all your money to treat. I'm about to spend this little money on trees. Was on a diet, but I gotta cheat. Jumped off the porch, now I'm on 2nd Street. To make up my twin, she rolling that dough, and I think about counting that dough in my sleep. What's up, TJ? Before y'all run, I don't wanna be late. I need a little something, I hit this way, and I need it now, I don't need a delay. Peanut butter like my snack, like my woman. Denzel Washington, I'm leaving with sun. Chocolate chip, baby, you know how I'm coming. Banana pudding, no, we got it jumping, yeah. Yeah, got butterific, I'm feeling terrific. Serving them cookies is not just a gimmick. They pulling them now cause they love to mimic, yeah. I need a pack, I need a sack, I need a stack, I need a rack. Man, I need everything in a bag down.
You better believe it.
Ay, butterific, yeah, butterific, butterific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I was a teenager one time and, you know, feeling myself. And me and Mom was having a conversation. And I called myself explaining something to my mama. And I was like, look here, Mom, you can't tell me how to be a man. You're a woman. You don't know. You can't tell me how to be a man. And her response to me was, "You're right. I'm not a man. I can't tell you how to be a man, but what I can teach you how to be is a man that a woman would want."
God,
I can teach you that.
Oh my Lottie.
You know, and she was like, "Listen, you right, but I can tell you how to be the type of man that a woman would want."
God,
you know, and so it just kind of put me right back in the sense that, you know, there's some women that they may not be men, but they understand some of the requirements and some of the framework that you're gonna need. You're gonna need some of these other things that I may not be able to provide it for you. That's why I make sure you hang out with your uncles. That's why I make sure you go spend time with your grandfather. That's why I make sure, you know, you hang out with some of your cousins, because it really does go back to the village. You know what I mean? And what mothers can really understand. You might not have, you know, the husband or the father may not be present for whatever reason. That does not matter. But what you are responsible for as a single mom is the village that you create around your young people, and understand that you are responsible for the people that you bring into your young person's life. And these are the people that you can tell your son or daughter, like, that guy's in your corner. That person is in your corner. That's how you create the village when you don't have, and it don't matter. Like, sometimes a parent may not have the necessary discipline. You see a kid that don't have it from within, now you got to provide it externally. And so, you know, somebody may not have something. You may not have a certain prerequisite of skills or communication or whatever it may be. Well, let me put you in an environment where you can get these things. That's what mom is responsible for.
That's a solution.
Creating a village.
Shout out to your mom for knowing how freaky you was and how much you love women to use that to help guide you.
You're foolish.
Give me straight. Give me back in line.
Yeah.
Foolish, yo. That's crazy.
Of her knowing her strengths and weaknesses, right? And knowing that, like none of us have a problem with a single mother, but sometimes we cringe when someone say, "I got to be the mother and the father." Well,
correct.
If something happened to my son's mother, I can never be their mother. right? I can just be the best father that I can be, right? So that's not diminishing mother in any shape, form, or fashion. So she acknowledges I got super strengths, but there's certain things that I can't do, like you say. So therefore, I'm gonna bring your uncle, my brother around you, or around the good cousins, and not the wild cousins or whatnot. And going back to the village scenario that you talked about.
Yeah, I remember, you know, in the early '80s, you know, we dating ourselves, right? That did our young brothers was getting taken off the streets for drugs, man, and you know, getting 20, 30 years, man. And I think that was like the beginning of these mothers being able, you know, in the household and having to raise you know, our children, uh, you know, definitely talking about the male side and being able to figure it out in real time. And no, that was different because we had never seen anything like that take place before. But you know, that was the first time. So a lot of mothers had to operate in this role, and they was, you know, sharing our stories with one another. This boy won't listen, etc., and stuff like that. So I remember the beginning of it. You know, and then now, up until now, you know, you see the impact that it had on our young brothers, you know.
Man, you know what you made me think about, and I know we don't mind going across a bunch of categories here, but you made me think about to stop the rise of a Messiah that King Herod said, kill all the boy babies and spare the females.
Right. The minister mentioned that too with him around that time.
Yeah. Same thing with the children of Israel with Moses, right? It's like kill all the boy babies, right? And so now they didn't go outright kill, well, they're killing some of us now, but take the man out of the household. So the question becomes, was this just by design? Especially when you look at those crack laws, you know, all our friends getting out of jail in the last 5 and 10 years from that era, and many of them had children. You know what I'm saying? It just made me think about that dynamic, Chill, because that's very true, man. So if we look at that dynamic of the men being out of the house, you know, our sisters were left, like you said, trying to figure that thing out with these boys. And you know, one of the things I call, man, I coined a phrase for this age of raising children. I think I haven't heard anybody else say it, and if they did, good. I call it the age of the lack of accountability.
Check that.
Right? Listen, man, whether you work in a school, I don't care where you work in a school, whether you're a coach, you deal with young people, man. And unfortunately, it's mothers and fathers, but since the reason why this is squaring on women and sisters need not come at us, because 3 out of 4 black households right now, are head by a woman. That's factual data. 3 out of 4 black households are led, or the head is a woman, right? And that's why it's circling around this conversation about women. And so the question is, I know from working in education, they coming up to school, he ain't do that. We don't do that at home. What y'all do wrong?
Right.
Man, we got him on tape. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so mothers, you know how a mother go hard for their child? They going hard, and a lot of times for all the wrong reasons. So this child grow up thinking, man, if I get in trouble, mama gonna get me out of this, all the way up until the time they go to jail.
We touched on that a little bit on the previous episode, didn't we?
Yeah,
I believe we did.
But you think about it, if you're a single mother, we you know, just think about it. You know, gas expensive, groceries expensive. The last thing you got is to, you know, take your money out your household to take and pay for an attorney. Most of the time you're gonna have a court-appointed attorney, you know. But I mean, not most of the time, but there's those situations you'll have a court-appointed, but at the same time, you think about it, they can't afford to be spending no money outside the household on foolishness, because the direct household already got their own expenses. This you know, this extremely expensive, and the wages is not going up.
So y'all think if they held children, if as a people, like if our sisters in these 3 or 4 out of 4 households that aren't holding their kids accountable, if they were to hold them accountable in the way a good father would we have this issue that Mace talking about?
No,
I don't think so. I don't think
so. I don't think so. And I will add one piece to what you said. The accountability is one piece. And the second piece, because I always say it's 2, and accountability is 1, but number 2 is entitlement. You know, the sense of entitlement that people bring to the school, bring to the workplace, bring to, you know, I don't care what it is, even if it's, you know, housing, you know, and dealing with the housing authority. You know what I mean? It does not matter, you know. When you think about the gentleman, a lot of times, people that we know that have spent a lot of time in the penitentiary or whatever it may be, oftentimes that's where those are the 2 characteristics that are very prevalent, you know, entitlement and lack of accountability. And when you have those things in combination, it really is a recipe for disaster, because those are the 2 things that really truly shape your mindset. They really shape the mindset that you bring to everything that you do. It's that mindset, and that's how you're going to respond. Your thoughts going to shape how you react. And you know, I don't have to go through all of that, but that really is the core of, you know, what we see happening. So yeah, bro, if there was a sense of accountability in place, you wouldn't see that, because somebody is holding you to that. And here's what I do know. If and when and whoever you are, you become the individual that holds people accountable in your family, everybody gonna start avoiding you. It don't matter how old they are, the old people, the young people, whoever it is. When you start holding people accountable and holding people to a standard, whether it's the adults in the family or the young people in the family, now don't nobody want to be dealing with you, because you know every goddamn thing. You got all the answers. Can't nobody tell you nothing.
And he come.
Stay away from you. You want to stay away from you.
Nobody want to hear his mouth.
Yeah, right.
And that's how the family secrets start.
What Talik was saying earlier, I think for our generation, that's what we recognize. The prison industrial complex ain't nothing new with the drugs. But that's been going on since the beginning of this country, right? That's another conversation, but that's been from day one in the United States, right? For different generations, separating the families and that sort of thing. The other thing too, when you allude to the school thing, hey, bro, I couldn't get in more trouble outside of home than I could inside of home, you know? And so therefore, man, what was going to happen at home was going to be a whole lot worse than what this principal would do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to avoid that accountability at home, right?
I was about to say, it speaks to accountability. Okay.
And when I did misbehave, we had at least, not excusing misbehavior, we had a little bit proof to us, right? Until we was openly disrespected, and then we handle it that way. But if there's, like you said, the lack of accountability leads to entitlement, which leads to toxic behaviors. You know what I mean?
So ain't nobody getting whoopings no more?
Right.
Probably not.
They just gonna get the right,
or inappropriate whoopings. I'm whooping your ass because I'm mad. I'm whooping my ass because I had a hard day at work. I'm whooping your ass because your daddy ain't sent me this money or what have you. Yeah.
Did y'all? I could pull it up.
Because the teacher out and you ain't getting your ass whipped.
Right. What that teacher do instead of what you did.
There's a video. There's a video that went viral, and it's a black man, a father, and he's got a belt in his hand, and he's talking to his 2 boys. He's talking to his 2 boys, and he's snapping the belt like this, and he doing the belt like this. And he like, what is this? And they looking at him like, huh?
I don't think I've seen that one.
And they reaching out and grabbing the belt like, and they have no idea what he's representing with the belt. And the little boys, they probably about 5 and 7, something like that. Bro, they are clueless when dad is like, what is this? What's this for? What am I going to? And the little kid's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
He like,
That's
they're like, you're making noise with it. You
Yeah.
oh, I know what you do. You put it on your pants, right?
Yeah.
He said, no. He said, this is for you. He said, oh, for me to put on my pants? Oh, okay. Like, had no.
Was these was black? These was black children.
Yeah.
This was black dad.
Yeah.
Black father, black kids, and what he was demonstrating is
He
that
don't whoop his kids.
One, he don't whip his kids, and two, there is another way to do this. It doesn't have to be done that way. And this was him demonstrating that he has broken the generational curses and the traumas of punishing.
Hell no, I'm
kids
not
that
going
way.
for it. I'm not going. I don't like that part of it. We still need whipping, man.
But he demonstrating that you don't.
You don't know them children though. You don't know his children. Them children might be hellions in school.
We don't know.
But guess what?
We don't know.
Them kids, I never seen no kids smile that much with a belt in front of them and they popping it. They were just laughing
That's
and pulling
hilarious.
at
I
it.
gotta see that joint.
Oh
That
yeah,
sounds so
I'll
crazy.
send it to y'all.
Now, I know we had a whole
Don't mean
episode
none of them.
on whether we should whip them or not, but I know a lot of
I
factors.
was
We
about to
talking
say,
about
I believe
reason
we
and all
did.
that.
Yep. I was about to bring
Well,
it back up.
Well, that's another point I was gonna make. I never seen a female look at their son and he jump into place. But I have seen many males. You look them, you give them that look, and immediately they know exactly what that look is.
They tighten up.
They tighten up. I hadn't seen that. Now I ain't saying it don't take place.
I see it.
But I hadn't seen
Hey, look, yeah. Well, this is my take on it. I think it does take place, but again, when you're 14 or 18, the older you get and a little bit bigger and mature, and a little testosterone running through it, that's where it gets.
The less effective it becomes, huh?
Yeah. They can work when they're younger.
You saying with even with the female or just on the men too?
Oh,
if you don't got your tail torn out the frame enough, you'll do it with a female.
Yeah. I think
you know she's not playing.
No, I'm talking about
you know
what JC said, how it wears off as they get a little older and whatnot.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it wears out with the men too.
young men. Yeah. When you are young, it is fear that keeps you in line. But as you age, as you grow, as you get bigger, the parent has to recognize at a certain point, fear will no longer work. They have to convert that fear into respect. And now when you look at your 15-year-old son and he's 6'3", he still responds to mom's commands or dad's commands because it don't matter how big he is. The parent has been able to convert that fear into respect. And now the kid falls in line out of respect. That's that. And you see it a lot of times. You see it when you see old people talking to 14 and 15-year-old kids talking about spanking them and stuff like that. They have lost all control. They don't know. I was watching an episode of the Jeffersons and James was threatening to spank JJ and JJ was 18.
Oh, you mean Good Times?
Good times. Yeah, Good Times. James threatening to spank JJ. JJ 18 years old in 12th grade. It's crazy.
Hey, but let me say this though. But I'm with you to your point though. That kid that you talking about that just honors the respect the whole time, it happens. But there's also a time where they gonna try.
Correct.
They gonna try daddy sometimes too, and that's when it defaults back to that. You still gotta know, I will whip your ass.
I think I brought it up on the example in the earlier episode. I think I did. With Michael,
but
I had to do that.
Every now and then, the young person gonna try it, even when they good kids.
Yeah, I had to take Isaiah down, and when Gabriel started, I ain't had to worry about Gabriel. Yeah. Hey, look,
you have to.
We talking about the young men not being emotional, and what that path leads down to as far as decision making. So what's the correction? What's the fix? We actually a little bit imbalanced because it'd be nice to have a sister on the panel, right, to challenge us, our way of thinking, even though we try to cover all perspectives, right? But what's the key? What's the solution? What's the fix? What advice do you have to having the person process their thoughts and be less emotional?
Well, what I talked about earlier is creating a village of strong men and strong boys around your young person, you know, and you decide who you put in that village and who you bring around and making sure that's why I'm a big, you know, proponent of athletics and coaches and all of that stuff. That's just super important I think it's super important. And so you build that village, and I think that is, you know, how you bring balance to it, bring it back into balance, because you can't do it all. None of us do it all. We all were raised by amazing villages, you know, and so it's crazy to think that somebody even trying to do it all. But for me, I think that's the answer.
I agree. I agree with that, but I also will add this component. You know, when you having disagreements, I don't think that's the time to settle it right in the midst of the heat of the moment. But however, when both of you all cool down, I think you need to have some dialogue and have some conversation. You know, the reason I said this is because of this. And you said this, and that's how the tension start arising and stuff like that. So I just think to have that conversation, you know, and talk it over, so the person will know next time, you know, oh, that's why mom got mad with me. Oh, okay, all right, or you know, vice versa. So I think a conversation also need to be talked it out and get that understanding, because a lot of times, you know, sometimes things could be you know, confused by the frustration of the heat of the moment. And I think if you know, had that conversation, then you can clear the air for next time.
Facts. I believe there's also a scenario I don't think we touched on based on what Mace was talking about, because this too can exist, is if the father's maybe there is a 2-parent household, but the father's not, either whether he's working too much and in the balance of the mother and father is not, there's an imbalance, you know what I mean? And so then the solution in those cases is making sure that dad does try to improve and be present more in order to create the balance that's necessary for him then, because again, you could the few times that the father may interact with the child or the son in this example, I mean the son for this the example, could be so far and few between that then he'll see, like, man, oh, so you're not really taking he's rejecting the dad's advice and guidance and leaning so far to mom's, because mom, that's who's around, that's who's been raising them, you know, more so because dad is working all the time or whatever the case may be.
Dad has been totally emasculated.
Huh?
No, I agree, and it's James. It's not even. I'm not even gonna give us dads the workout, because a lot of times we just giving all the power over to the woman. Ask your mama. Child wants something, go ask your mama. Your mama gonna say this. Your mom, but that's back to him probably being raised the wrong way.
Wow.
And only taking advice from women itself.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You know, or
the reason he's saying ask your mother because he don't want to deal with it.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. But I'm just saying it ain't so much as he weak. He just don't want to deal with it. Now she's sitting back.
Weak if you don't want to deal with it.
Ask your daddy.
Yeah.
Nah, because you know, like
you saying if he do that once in a while, that's fine. But if his default is go ask your mama, that's a problem.
I was going to say back to what Joaquin said earlier. He said entitlement. We said accountability and entitlement. So I think if sisters keep those things as important for their young men, like I got to make sure they're accountable and that they're not entitled. And whatever that means and how they do it is critical. But you know, one thing I think we don't do a lot, and I know we're about to wrap here. We don't do a lot. Just tell them. I know that's what I did. Hey, man. When you see another man telling you what to do, and he's right, and he's not trying to harm you, listen. Just tell the kids give them the expectation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we just not talking to them to say, this is how I need you to think. And I think that will go a long way.
And I also want to add to that, man. You know, step parents in the household, and they, like you said, if you're not harming them and you mean well, like, don't disarm them, you know, because you sending a bad message. And so those type of things like that, you know, let you know, like I said, if you're not harming them, then what's the issue with you letting the stepdad tell them? But when you
mean the mamas that say, them my kids, don't you leave them alone, don't say nothing to them.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
And chill, you know. I remember after dad died, dad passed away, and it was me and you. I remember we was having a conversation with mom one time, and she talking about, you know, mom gonna have a friend, you know how they do. And I remember me and my brother, me and Chill was like, oh, you can have all the friends you want. That nigga better not come in here telling us what to do.
1,000, and we were like,
and we was dead ass serious.
And we meant it. It was
like,
10, 12. Like it was serious. Like, oh, that's your friend. Yeah. But he bet not even form his lips like he want to say something to us. We weren't having it. You know what I'm saying? And
that's wild.
And that's on everything.
You should have whipped your ass right then and there. I'm running this stuff.
Hey, John, if she had beat him damn near to death, they'd have listened. What y'all say? Yeah.
Hey, but at the end of the day, man, we need balance, right? I always say that as a divorced single father. Same thing with the mother. You can't have a good day at work and let your kid get away with everything. You can't have a tough day at work and come and wail on them just because you had a tough day. So being stoic and trying to separate yourself from what's going on for the day, you know what I mean? And not treat them emotionally yourself, right? No different than if your wife is having a rough day, be like, go ahead, I got this, right? And sometimes she may recognize you if you got something on your mind and you're not addressing something, and you know, or maybe you're addressing it too aggressive. Say, hey, I got this today, chill out. So we all need that balance in our life, and when we don't have that right person in our life, right? This is what we're saying. Be intentional about. Hopefully, you got a good brother. Hopefully, your father's there, a good cousin, or someone in the neighborhood.
Uncle, yeah,
you know,
yes, sir.
Yeah, someone in the community. And I do understand too. It's a lot of sisters out there making things happen and doing it, and they might not be in their hometown, or they might not have a bigger family. You know, and I do know it's a challenge creating a community, you know, in a different city from where you grew up. But
co-worker something, right? Yeah, absolutely.
But it gotta be done, man. It has to be done somehow if we're gonna save these babies, man. And I know that it's a great topic Mace brought up, and you know, we had a lot of good pointers, and there's many more layers that go to it. It's not that cut and dry. But as we wrap, anybody got any final remarks before Waki take us out of here?
Nah, that's it. Good talk. Chopping it up. I miss it.
All right,
take us out of here, Joaquin.
And this quote from Frederick Douglass has never been more apropos for a conversation than ever. And this was a perfect conversation for this quote. And in the words of the great Frederick Douglass, it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. Peace.
Peace.
Deuces.